Okay. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gyananjanashlavakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manovistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Padamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yukta Padakamanam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Sta Shri Rupa Sagrajata Sadhana Raghunatam Vidam Tam Sajivam Sadhuitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sadhana Lalita Shri Vishaka Vitamsta He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagapate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gorangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchaka Patarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vyaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So quickly we go through the yesterday revision. Please, Mother Nikki, want to remind us, and then you can add your question.
Okay, Prabhu, I'll go quickly. For verse 17, we here Krishna further describes the temporary nature of the material world, from Brahmaloka to the lowest planets, and how everything will be annihilated or will come to an end. But Krishna's abode is eternal. And we discussed time, right? Brahma's lifespan compared to us humans, and Brahma's lifespan in comparison to Mahavishnu's lifespan. Like one lifespan of Lord Brahma is just an exhalation of Mahavishnu, right? One breath. So, okay. For the purport, we said that even though in our eyes, Lord Brahma's lifespan is so expansive, the 12th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam on calculations of time from Adam, we will understand that Lord Brahma's life is insignificant compared to Lord Vishnu's life, okay? So we study these things to understand Krishna's greatness, right? The time, that Krishna is time, diba? So, because unless we understand the greatness of God, we will not have full faith and love for Him. For 818 and 819, the main idea that echoed here is that in every Brahma's day and night, there is partial annihilation. So in the beginning of his day, there is manifestation or creation of all the living entities. But when the night falls, there is partial annihilation. Just like in this material world, when the evening comes, everything becomes quiet. Okay? So here for the purports, Srila Prabhupada said, devotees or intelligent persons who take to Krishna consciousness, even though our life is very minuscule, it's short, we use our human life fully in devotional service of the Supreme Lord and by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And thus we will be transferred to Krishna Loka and become eternally blissful there. And we will no longer be subjected to the cycle of rebirths. For 820, Krishna said that his abode is eternal and transcendental. It is supreme and is never annihilated. And when everything is annihilated, that part remains as it is. We mentioned here chapter 15 that in Krishna's abode there is no need for sunlight or moonlight, not even electricity. His place is self-illuminated. Okay. For 821, we discussed that Krishna's abode is unmanifest and infallible, and when you attain it, you will never return to this material world. Hence, we should all desire to go to his abode. We discussed the story of Tukaram here on verse 21, that as a great devotee, he was never enticed by the wealth that the king was trying to fool him with as a trick to test whether he is really sincere in his devotion to Krishna. Or to Pandurang, right? Is that correct? For the purport, we said that, for the purport of verse 21, Srila Prabhupada describes Krishna's spiritual abode directly from Sri Brahma Samhita. So we read the whole translation, right? And he told us that we need to have a strong desire to go to the abode of Krishna. Otherwise, we will remain in this material bondage. For 822, we said that Krishna is attainable only by unalloyed devotion. Because of his form, his nature, he to other people, Krishna's nature is inconceivable, right? He is all pervading, but he has a spiritual and material body too. So they cannot conceive this nature of Krishna. That is why in the purport it says here that Krishna is Yashantaha Stani. Everything is sustained within Krishna, and either his spiritual or material energy, and he is all pervading in both. And then after verse 22, we read Srila Prabhupada's quotes. That's it, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Yeah, you have to add your question now because we ended with I wanted to ask question. The time was not there, and I asked you to write it down.
Actually, Prabhu, it wasn't a question. It wasn't a
What
question.
was a contribution?
It was related to the stories you told us about pure devotees. But as I ruminate last night, I don't think I qualified to be like a devotee either, like a pure devotee. So I don't think I will tell the story, Prabhu. I'm not qualified.
What story is from which scripture?
It's about book distribution.
So sharing with us so that we can be encouraged.
Because we were talking about pure devotees of Krishna, and when they are doing their seva, there are challenges that comes, right, from other
Yeah.
people. And I had a story back in the second Mahaharinam, remember, in Rizal
Yeah.
Park, when I was distributing books. Because I asked Mother Niharika, how do I distribute books? Like how you do it? Because I wanna distribute books efficiently. And so she told me a lot of tricks because she's a great distributor. So one trick she told me is to approach couples, because when couples are out on a date, they're very happy, lots of serotonin. So we should bank on that. And so I did what Mother Nariko told me to approach couples, and I approached my first couple in the park. And the boyfriend, Prabhu, was really interested. He wanted to take some of my booklets. His hand was out like this. Let me take one. But his girlfriend became angry. She took his hand and told him, "No, don't talk to her. Ignore her. Let's go." And she took him away. So the other, meaning that I did not, after explaining what the books are for, that we're distributing books for Krishna, and that we are trying to collect donations, they just took off. And then the other people from the park saw that the girl was really rude and mean to me. So I think
Yeah.
one of the family there, they took pity on me, and so they asked me, are you giving that for free? What is that? And so I told them, yes, this is not free. I'm not selling these. These are books meant for donations. And so they gave me 70 pesos, Prabhu,
Oh,
in
good.
exchange of 2 enchanting. So because they felt sorry for me after the girl
Yeah.
shouted those really mean things, but I wasn't affected, Prabhu. It will take much more to hurt me.
Very good. I'm very happy that you know it will take much more to hurt you, and you are not affected. Actually, if you really want to be humble, you have to go on book distribution. Book distribution will humble you because people will hurt you consciously. It's like they will look down on you, they will talk down on you, they will, want you to feel bad that what you are doing is not the right thing. You see, so in this way, you learn humility and tolerance on book. If you want to learn humility and tolerance, you have to do that on book distribution. There's no other way. Book distribution and like in the olden days, the saints they learned humility by going out to beg for what they will eat. Sometimes people will give them, people will not give them. Sometimes people will talk down on them, chase them away. In that way, they become humble and depend on Krishna only. So same thing also. That is only through book distribution we learn that in this modern day. So when you go for book distribution, you have all these experiences, and Krishna has a way of reciprocating and making and inspiring you also. You can feel directly Krishna when you go on book distribution. Because some people will emulate you, then Krishna will try to inspire you and makes other things to happen to you. You see? So this is and thank you very much for sharing that. Whenever we have this kind of realization, don't hide it. You share with us so that you can inspire us. Especially because we wanted to share yesterday and I asked you to keep it for today. So thank you very much for sharing it. Very, very. And now the bodies are going for book distribution. Like Mother Angel, she's on book distribution, but she's inside the car going to temple, but she's here listening to the lecture. You see, they went for book distribution in Kansas City yesterday. It's a very nice. See, so this is a very wonderful. Actually, the December marathon is a very very wonderful time. So we should all find time either during the weekends or whenever we are free, when we have our off days, come to the temple, or if you have enough book at home, you can find out from the devotees, where are you guys going today? And they tell you, oh, today we are going to be in Quezon City. Okay, I'm heading to Quezon City. You go and join them and participate in book distribution, and you can feel the same experience. Whenever you have free day, you have free day from your work this December or weekend, try to join in for book distribution. And as time goes on, also we can create our study group like this Bhagavad Gita group. We can create weekend warriors. There's this Prabhu who is a Acharya for book distribution. What is that? His name? Forgotten his name now. I will remember. So he's encouraging the Srila Prabhupada disciple who is encouraging. Is a new modern day book distributor Acharya. Encouraging devotee for book distribution. So they have created so many wonderful programs in inspiring congregation and devotees in distributing books. So there's what they call weekend warriors. So in some temples, they have what they call weekend warriors. Means that devotees who are working on weekends, they come together and they go out for book distribution. You see, so all this is to help us to connect more with Krishna's mercy and also to purify us so that we can directly get the mercy of Krishna. It's very, very important, especially this December period. And very soon also I'll be joining the book distribution. So I'm very fired up now to join the December marathon. Okay. And let's see what happens after that. So let's continue. So in today we are going to continue because Krishna. Yes. Are we supposed to? Are we reading from text 22 today, or we already 22 yesterday?
We already read
We read
22.
it.
Yes,
So we are
Prabhu.
going to 23. So 22,
Yes.
Krishna mentioned
Yes.
that Bhaktiya Labhyas tu Ananyaya. You see, Krishna mentioned Bhaktiya Labhyas tu Ananyaya. Only by Ananyaya Bhakti you can attain my habod. Krishna is mentioning. Only by unalloyed devotion, Ananyaya Bhakti. Ananyaya means what in Sanskrit? Proper translated to be unalloyed, undeviating. Ananyaya. So Krishna mentioned in text 22, Bhaktya labhyas, labhya means to obtain. Bhaktya labhya ananyaya. Only by undeviating, unalloyed, pure devotion, you can attain my Vaikuntha abode. Okay, there is no other way. So in the coming verses now, like Krishna was thinking, okay, already I've explained to Arjuna how you can attain my supreme abode. And also, I've already explained to him about Yoga Mishra Bhakti. Those who practice Yoga Mishra Bhakti, Jnana Mishra Bhakti. So I should also tell him how those other people also can go to higher realm, by which they go and they return, or they go, they will not return back. So in the remaining verses, Krishna is going to explain how these other paths we go to either to higher realm, go to sun god, the moon, to go to some planet or more planet, and that they will come back, or from there they will go back to the spiritual abode. So Krishna is going to explain that in this the verse we are going to be reading from now on. Okay, so now let me share my screen. Okay, can you see my screen now?
Yes,
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes,
Prabhu.
Prabhu.
Okay, so let's go to 23. Yachakale tuana avritam chaiva yoginam prayatan yantitam kalam Bhakshyami Bharata Shaba. Members of the Bharata shall now explain to you the different time at which passing away from this world, the yogi does or does not come back. So because Krishna already has explained, Bhaktiya Labhyas Anayaya. Only by all unlawed devotion you can attain my abode. There is no other way. But now it's going to explain how we can attain his how other practicing yogis can attain his abode. So let's read it. Who want to read the purports? Please go ahead.
I read it, Prabhu.
Yes, Mata, please go ahead.
The unalloyed devotees of the Supreme Lord, who are totally surrendered souls, do not care when they leave their bodies or by what method. They leave everything in Krishna's hands and so easily and happily return to Godhead. But those who are not unalloyed devotees and who depend instead on such methods of spiritual realization as karma yoga, jnana yoga, and hatha yoga must leave the body at a suitable time in order to be sure of whether or not they will return to the world of birth and death. If the yogi is perfect, he can select the time and the situation for leaving this material world. But if he is not so expert, his success depends on his accidentally passing away at a certain suitable time. The suitable times at which one passes away and does not come back are explained by the Lord in the next verse. According to Acharya Baladeva Vidyabhushan, the Sanskrit word kala used herein refers to the presiding deity of time. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. So yeah, Krishna he wants to explain. Now he already explained, giving us explanation how we can attain by following, going through the pure bhakti. You see, through pure bhakti. If one engages in pure bhakti, you will attain Krishna abode. No matter, you don't need to care about what time, when where you leave your body. That is why when His Holiness Bhakti Swami Maharaj was leaving his body, he has opportunity to go to Vrindavan, like to go back to Vrindavan to leave his body, just like Prabhupada demonstrated. Went to Vrindavan, left his body in Vrindavan, but Bhakti Swami Maharaj decided to leave his body in uh, in America to show that wherever there's this verse in the scripture, wherever a devotee is Vrindavan. So the devotee does not need to care so much about where he leaves the body. So he left his body there in Gitanagari in in America. You see, and to show us that wherever a devotee leaves his body, we surely attain Krishna. And before he left his body, we can see completely that he was already purely absorbed in Krishna, because His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj was with him towards the end of his life, while reading all the different pastimes of Krishna to him. And there was a particular time when they got to when they were reading the pastime, and the Maharaj was saying, Maharaj, can't you see we are there? We are there. Can't you see we are there? And to show that, you know, Maharaj is already connected. He said, now, before going into Nirjam Bhajan, he said that now I'm going to go to Nirjam Bhajan, and I'm going to give up all my previous designation as Ganesham, Bhattitita Swami, John Favors, all the name you know me with, and all the other titles. Now, all this will be gone now. Now I just want to absorb myself in Krishna and nothing else. You see? So this is pure devotee showing us how to leave the body. Very, very important. So, and when Maharaj, there was one particular lecture he gave towards the end of his life, becoming a stone in Vrindavan. Sometimes we become so proud, I want to become a gopi. I want to become a kayak boy. You don't even know what it means to be in the spiritual world. You want to become this. You're so proud. If you become a grass, even in the kingdom of God, you should consider yourself very wonderful. Even the Brahma, the topmost personality in this universe. Do you know the position of a Brahma? To be a Brahma, you must be a best human being in the universe. That is the position of a Brahma. Brahma is the best human being in this universe. That is why it's Brahma. Okay? So to be in that position is not a joke. The Brahma was praying that, please, my Lord, let me become a grass in your abode. If the Brahma, the best human being in our universe, say is praying to become a grass in the abode of Krishna, just think how much more us that we are insignificant. We don't have any position for Krishna to recognize us to be anything. Brahma is the best human being in terms of universal hierarchy. If Krishna want to speak to anyone in this universe, Lord Brahma will be the first. So even Lord Brahma was praying to become a grass in Vrindavan. Just imagine. This is such humility we must have to enter the kingdom of God. We have to think ourselves very insignificant. When Krishna sent Uddhava to Vrindavan to observe the gopis and send message to the gopis, when Uddhava saw the devotion of the gopis, Uddhava, who is already a friend of Krishna in Dwarka, he was praying to become a grass in Vrindavan so that the gopis can step on him and get the dust of their lotus feet. So when Maharaj was giving that lecture that to become a stone in Vrindavan, he wants to become a stone in Vrindavan, you understand what it means. He has realized how insignificant we are. Krishna, just give me admittance into your abode. I don't care. I just want to be in your abode. Whether I become a stone, I become a grass, I just need your mercy to enter your spiritual abode, Krishna. But in our spiritual immaturity, oh, I want to become a Saki, I want to become a Gopi, I want to become. You don't know what it means. It's very, very high position. Just like in the material world here, the ordinary citizen who is Mr. Nobody, and he's saying, I want to become a minister. At least you have to get to somewhere before you can talk of becoming a minister or taking some high position in the government. You have to get somewhere. But you are nowhere and you say, I'm this, I'm that. No, we have to be very humble. So here, Krishna already explained, only by pure and unalloyed devotion to him, we can enter into that divine abode. And by engaging that pure and unalloyed devotion, we become so pure and understand our constitutional position, Swarupa. When we understand that our constitutional position and we become so humble, then our real original position will be revealed to us, who we are in the spiritual world. Swarup. Our internal Swarup will be revealed. So whatever is our internal Swarup, based on that, we will follow a particular devotee in Vrindavan, to really perfect that Swarup. And it is mentioned also, when you become so advanced on that platform, then first of all, when you leave this world, you go to the Bhumi Vrindavan to practice, to become perfect, following the associate of Krishna in that abode in Vrindavan. Then, before you can go back to the Goloka Vrindavan, the eternal abode of Krishna in the spiritual world. So these are the signs of going back to Krishna in the spiritual world, explained by the acharyas. You see, and many of us, we have to understand that all these things will begin from understanding the importance of association of the devotees. To really appreciate the association of devotees, to have a very, very wonderful association with the body is very, very important for us in going back home, back to the spiritual abode of Krishna. We can see in the song of Narottam Das Thakur. Narottam Das Thakur was singing, very nice song. We sing it every morning. Joya Koro Shri Achaya Prabhu Srinivasa Ramachandra Sangamage Narottama Dasa Joya Koro Shri Achaya. So Because Narottam Das Thakur and Srinivas Thakur and Ramachandra, they are contemporaries, very, very wonderful devotees of Krishna. Actually, these three devotees, they are the first book distributors of our Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Because the group of the six Goswamis of Vrindavan, they wrote so many books, and we need a very wonderful devotees who are prima bhaktas to distribute these books. So Ramachandra, Narottam Das Thakur, Srinivas Acharya, and Shamananda Pandit were the first book distributors who collected all the Goswamis books, and they were distributing it, in West Bengal and different parts of India, and they made so many devotees into so many wonderful devotees as their disciples. There was one time when they were bringing the books from Brindavan as they were going. So there was one king in his kingdom. He has a dacoit, thief, group of thieves that he used for exploiting people who are passing through his kingdom. And he has an astrologer. The astrologer will tell him whenever there is any valuable coming through the kingdom. So what happened was when the devotees were bringing these books of the Goswamis as they were coming, so the astrologer saw that there were so many wonderful valuables coming, but they didn't know what was the valuable. But they saw that these, the very precious, valuable things are coming, going to pass through the kingdom. So the king sent his dacoit, to go and steal those books. So they stole the books of the Goswamis, and they brought it to the king. And like that, so Shamananda Pandit and Srinivas Acharya, they went to the kingdom. After this dacoit, they went to the king, and they tried to convince the king to release their book. In that way, by the mercy of their purity, they were able to convert this king to a devotee. And you understand what it means. When a king becomes a devotee, automatically all the citizens of the kingdom will become a devotee. So in this way, you can see the purity of all these pure devotees who are book distributors of our line. If you go into this pastime of great devotees, we will not finish today. Actually, we are very, very fortunate to be in this line of Vaishnavas. We are very fortunate because the line of the Vaishnavas we are in, there is the line of those who have seen Krishna, who has experienced Krishna, who have written many wonderful books about talking about Krishna. This is a very special line we are in. Very, very, very special. So we are very, very fortunate to have gotten this opportunity by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. So, and our Guru Maharaj. So we have to be very, very thankful for them. And the only way to do that is to try to share this message with others also. So when you read the great books of all these Acharya, that is why we should read about we should read about the qualities of this devotee. When you read about the song of Narottam Das Thakur, read his books, you can see your heart becoming pure. Because when you read a book of a personality, you start imbibing the consciousness of that person. Because a book is the consciousness of the person. When you read Prabhupada's book, you start imbibing the consciousness of Prabhupada. When you read the book of Narottam Das Thakur, you start imbibing the consciousness of Narottam Das Thakur. When you read the book of Srila Rupa Goswami, you are directly associating with Srila Rupa Goswami. So when you read Krishna book, when you read Bhagavad Gita, you are directly associating with Krishna and Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So all these books, by reading them, you are directly associating with all these great personalities. And that is the beginning of going back home, back to Godhead. But here, Krishna, after having explained about going back home to Vaikuntha, but now he wants to explain about other processes, like Ataka Yoga and then Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, how those people, they have to be very meticulous in calculating how to go back. You see? So that is what Krishna is explaining to us in text in this book. So let's continue. I hope you are hearing me.
We can hear
Yes,
you,
Prabhu.
Prabhu.
Yes, we can hear you, Prabhu.
Are you hearing me?
Yes, Prabhu.
I'm not hearing anybody. I hope everybody is hearing me.
Yes,
We
Prabhu, we
can
can
hear
hear
you,
you.
Prabhu.
Okay, Hare Krishna. At least now I know you are already hearing me. Thank you. Because sometimes network may go off and something is happening, Agni Jyoti Haha Shukla Shan Masa Uttarayana Tatra Prayata Gachanti Brahma Brahma Vido Jana. So Krishna already started explaining Those who know the Supreme Brahma attain the Supreme by passing away from the world during the influence of the fearing God in the light at an auspicious moment of the day, during the fortnights of waxing moon, or during the 6th month when the sun travels in the north. So Krishna is explaining that process by which a yogi will have to plan his departure. Okay. So, somebody want to read the
Yes,
purport?
Prabhu.
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay, so when fire, lights, day, and the fortnights of the month are mentioned, that is to be understood that overall, all of them are there are various presiding deities who makes arrangements for the passage of the soul. At a time of death, the mind carries one of the path to a new life. If one leaves the body at the time designated above, either accidentally or by arrangement, that is possible for him to attain the personal Brahmajyotir. Mystics who are advanced in yoga practice can arrange the time and place to leave the body. Others have no control. If by accident they leave at an auspicious moment, then they will not return to the cycle of birth and death. But otherwise, there is every possibility that they will have to return. However, for the pure devotee in Krishna consciousness, there is no fear of returning whether he leaves the body at an auspicious or inauspicious moment by accident or arrangement. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. So that is it. Like Prabhupada explained in the purport, the yogi have to, we have 6 months called Uttarayana when the sun is traveling on the northern hemisphere. That is creating all the different seasonal changes we have. Like when the sun is traveling, like now, if you experience the weather in in the Philippines now, or maybe in Manila, I don't know about other parts. You see, we have a shorter day and longer night. What do I mean by shorter days and longer night? By 5 o'clock, everywhere becoming dark. By 6 o'clock, everywhere is dark already. Then in the morning also, it takes long time for you to see the sun. It means that we have longer night and shorter day. It means that the sun is another part of the hemisphere. It's not directly on this part of the hemisphere now. So this is what happens every year. 6 months, you have the sun on a particular hemisphere. Like you have some people who are situated on the northern hemisphere of the globe. We have some people who are situated on the southern hemisphere of the globe. And we have some countries who are situated on the equator of the globe. And I know we all study geography. We know about hemisphere and equator and all those things when we're in school. Okay, so those who are in the northern hemisphere, when the sun is in the northern hemisphere, they will experience longer day and shorter night. When the sun goes to the southern hemisphere, they will experience shorter day and longer night. So all these are due to the movement of the sun, around in the universe. So the same thing also, that is what Krishna is explaining here. When the sun is moving on the northern hemisphere, it's called Uttarayana. Uttarayana means that when a yogi live at that particular time, when the sun is moving on the northern hemisphere, either by the blessing of the fire god, the moon, whatever, all the deities, the sun, or like that, all the deities mentioned, whether you know or you don't know, if you leave your body during that time, you go to higher planets. That is what the Krishna Prabhupada is explaining in the purport. You see? And if you leave your body, now we're going to read this. Krishna is going to describe the second aspect. Let's read it, then we can talk more about that. Okay. That is test number 25. Okay. Dumora Tristata Krishna Samasa Dakshinayana Tatra Chandramasa Jyoti Yogi Prapya Nivartate. The mystic who passes away from this world during the smoke, the night, the fortnight of the waning moon, or the 6th month, when the sun passes through the sun and south reaches the moon planet, but again comes back. Okay. So when the Dakshinayana, when a yogi, a mystic, leaves his body during Dakshinayana, when the sun is on the southern hemisphere, it will only, the highest it can go is the moon. It cannot go beyond the moon. You see, it will go up to the moon and it will come back. You see, mind you, the moon planet, the sun planet, they are all heavenly planets. They are heavenly planets. If you don't know, just because people, you see, in this material world, there are scientists, they are trying to go to the moon, and they will show us some pictures where there's nobody there. It's not true. Moon planet is a place, is a heavenly planet where people are there and they are enjoying sense gratification there. You see, and one time, Bhakti Shastri was moving, and he looked up. He said, "Just see how degraded the people of the moon planet have become. So engrossed in sense gratification." A pure devotee can see all these things. Even when he was here, he was seeing that. He was speaking to all his devotees and his Bhakti Shastri. So you can see. So even a pure devotee, what the scientists are trying, making out, spending so much billions of dollars to make machines to go to, and they say, "Oh, we have gone to this side of the moon, we have gone to that part of the moon," but still they have not shown us one living anything on the moon planet. You see, because you cannot see them. Just like when you move around at night and a ghostly being is moving around. If you don't have the special eyes to see ghosts, you cannot see them. But that does not mean that they do not exist. That does not mean they are not there. It's just that you cannot see them. And some people who can see ghosts, they can see. "Oh, can't you see? Oh, no, I cannot see." "What? I cannot see." "No, you see, that guy is standing there." "No, I cannot see." Because you cannot see, that does not mean that they do not exist. They are there. You see. So similarly, the living entity on the moon planet, they are there. Their own body, their body is completely different from ours. So if you go there, you cannot see them. Even if you reach there, you cannot see them because you don't have the eyes to see them. And we are not even sure whether they have gone to the moon. Because if they have gone to the moon, they will not return back to here because the moon is much more highly sophisticated and more higher sense enjoyment there than here. So if truly they are, that is why there was one time when Prabhupada was talking about this, scientists going to the moon or not, and one of his disciples was arguing with him, and because of that he left the movement. The Prabhupada said that they have not reached the moon. No, there's so much scientific explanation and all these things, but he doesn't know that, you know, unless you really become pure, you cannot understand these things. You see, just imagine now going to the sun planet. They don't even try to go to the sun planet because they don't bond them well. In my country, they will say they don't bond them well. They don't bond them means this, they cannot do that. You see, so so going to the sun, if you come even a little bit closer to the sun, you will be burned to ashes. Everything will be pure. Like even our Earth planet is perfectly situated in a very strategic position. According to a scientific explanation, if the Earth move 1 inch closer to the sun, it will burn to ashes. If the Earth move 1 inch further from the sun, it will frozen. So this Earth is staying in a very perfect position to the sun. So that is why, but that does not mean that in the sun planet they are not living entity there who are enjoying gratification. They are there. Their body is just fiery. We have the 5 elements. You have the fire. You have our whole body is made up of earth. So that is why we have earthly body. There are some other living entity, their body is made up of fire. So they have fiery body. There's some living entity, their body is made up of air. They have airy body. There's some living entity, their body is made up of ether. They have ether body. So all these other living entity, they are more subtle than human, than our gross body, And there are some living entity, they don't have this gross body. Their body is made up of the subtle element. Some of them are made up of the mind. Some of them are made up of the intelligence. Like Lord Brahma, his body is made up of intelligence, no material body. His body is made up of intelligence and is is the sum total of all the intelligence of the universe. That is Lord Brahma. You see? So of these planets, you have this variety of different bodies. So you cannot perceive them unless you are properly situated in that position or you have become spiritual. Just like Arjuna was in front of Krishna, and for him to see the universal form of Krishna, because Arjuna is already on the spiritual platform, he is seeing Krishna directly, face to face. For him to be able to see the universal form of Krishna, he has to step down. Krishna gave him a step down height, because for him to see the universal form of Krishna, he has to have the vision. Krishna call it divine vision. It's divine vision though, because it is the vision of the demigod. The same vision that the demigods they have. That is the vision that Arjuna needs for him to see universal form of Krishna. So he stepped down. It's a step down for Arjuna because Arjuna is much more higher. You see? So like this. So Krishna is explaining here. So for those people, when they get to the moon planet, they will be there for some time, but they will come back again to this earth, as Krishna is explaining to us. Because moon also is a planet where people, they are living entity there. So let's go through the purport.
Okay, I'll read, Prabhuji. In the
Yes,
third
cool.
canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Kapila Muni mentions that those who are expert in fruitive activities and sacrificial methods on earth attain to the moon at death. These elevated souls live on the moon for about 10,000 years by demigod calculations and enjoy life by drinking Somarasa. They eventually return to earth. This means that on the moon there are higher classes of living beings, though they may not be perceived by the gross senses. Hare Krishna.
Okay, that's what we just explained now. We're just spending all the time explaining. You may not be able to perceive them, but they are there. But one special beverage that is very, 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 connected to the moon. When you talk about the moon, is Somaras. That is why you see. I remember one devotee was telling me, Prabhu, but in the heavenly planet they drink alcohol. So what is bad in drinking alcohol here? you know, you know. So the more some even in the Christian, you see some pastor they tell you, Jesus made that wine, he turned water to wine. So there's nothing bad in drinking alcohol, just little. But one thing about drinking alcohol is that when you drink alcohol, the alcohol, when it enter into your system, you are not the same again. You are not going, your mindset is not going to be the same. You start thinking differently. You start feeling differently because it's interfering with your personality. Same thing with drugs. When you take drugs, it's influencing, it goes through your veins. I've not said it before. Don't ask me how I know. I read a lot about them. So don't ask me. See, from right the beginning of my life, I've not tasted any of this, and by the grace of Guru and Krishna, till I will leave this world, I will not taste it. But I read about them, so I come to know about what is happening for those who are taking it. So for those, you see, when they take these substances, when it flows through their veins, sometimes it makes them different in their thinking. Like one time, one person was saying, when you give a sane man, somebody with his correct senses, when you give him a knife to hurt his fellow human being, he will not be able to do that. He will have empathy. He will have, conscience. But you give him a drugs or you give him alcohol. After that, you give him a knife to do that. He will do that without thinking. That's to tell you how this thing affects the personality of human beings. And that is why the scripture says we should not do that. We should not take these things. Maybe when you have higher bodies, it may not affect you, especially when you are in the moon planet or you are in the sun planet. It's okay, it's different. But as long as you're in this earthly body, it's not good for us. It will lead us to sinful activities. It will degrade our consciousness. It will make us to act in the lower modes of nature that will not be helpful for our elevation. This is why the scriptures say we should not do that. So there's no need to tell us, oh, in the heavenly planet they take alcohol. Okay, are you in the heavenly planet? No, you're not in the heavenly planet. If you take it, Do you still, have your correct senses? The answer is no. Just go and see it. You see, when boys, when they drink alcohol, they start behaving around girls, they start thinking, crazy. This is what happens. It affects their consciousness. You see, so that is it. So that is why the scriptures say, devotees, those who want to be liberated should not take these things. Okay. So in the moon planet, Papa saying, even though they are there, they go there, they enjoy sense gratification, they take Rosoman Ras, which is like a liquor. That is the enjoyment in the moon planet. But after the enjoyment, they come back here. You see. So because in the moon planet, so you see, one thing about, let me explain a little bit about this. Sometimes we may be thinking, see, sense enjoyment. When we talk about sense enjoyment, in the material plane is bounding. Okay? In this earth is bounding. When you try to gratify your senses, is bounding. You see, when you go to the higher planet, in the heavenly planet, it's not bounding on that planet, because why? In that planet, you are there to gratify your senses. That is why you are there. This looks contradictory, huh? No, it's not true. It's just like when you go to the hellish planet. Hellish planet is a place of suffering. There's no enjoyment there. No enjoyment. So all what you are going to be experiencing in the hellish planet or hellish region is suffering, nothing else. Similarly, when you go to a heavenly planet or higher planet in the heavens, what you are going to be experiencing is enjoyment. That is why it says that it's very difficult to think of Krishna when you are in the heavenly planet. It's very difficult for you to go to the spiritual world when you are in the heavenly planet. But one thing is that earth is a mixture of both. Earth is a place where you can experience heaven or you can experience hell. That is earth. That is why you see some people, they have so much wealth that they can gratify their senses to any limit they can have on this earth. There are some people like that. And there's some people, they are so impoverished, to the extent that to get even 1 square meal a day is a big thing for them. So earth is a mixture of both realm, you see. And earth is a place of karma bhumi. It's called karma bhumi. Karma bhumi means is a place of activity. So those who are intelligent, they don't try to gratify their senses on earth. Even the demigods, if they want to go back to the spiritual world, they pray to come to earth because it's easier on earth. It's a karma bhumi where you can. The condition on earth is easier for you to perform devotional service to go to the spiritual world, unlike the heaven or hell. So the condition on earth is easier for you. That is why earth is a perfect place for us to engage in pure devotional service and go to the spiritual world. Heaven, there is no assurance. Hell, there is no assurance. But earth is a very wonderful place where this can be done. That is why it is said, for those who are taking birth on this earth, they should not engage in sense gratification that is available for the animals. When you talk about sense gratification, these animals, they are doing wonderfully well than us. When you talk about sexual enjoyment, ostrich is very good at that. When you talk about what do you call it? What other enjoyment are there in terms of the tongue, the nose? When you talk about the nose, the dog nose is more powerful than human nose. You just need to put somebody's cloth in the nose, in the dog nose. You'll be able to trace the person to anywhere the person will enter, anywhere. So in terms of nose gratification, dog has a very wonderful nose than any human being. Even the eyes, we talk about eye sense gratification. We want to see wonderful things. We want to see beautiful things. Even all these lower animals, they can see beyond. They can see even better than us. You see. So like this, so all these animals, they can do any of all these sense gratification better than humans. You see, they don't even need to care about time, place, and circumstances. So, so there is no need for human being to try to engage in sense gratification that is available for this lower animal. That is the preaching of King Rishabhadev in the fifth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. That we should try to endeavor to engage in devotional service and get out of this miserable world. So, so that is it. Earth is a very perfect place for engaging in devotional service. That's what I'm trying to explain. Any other question, comments, or contribution?
Prabhuji, I have a question. Um, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Okay, so let's continue to test 26 if there's no question.
Prabhu, someone raised their hand.
Okay, who is raising their hand? Ashraya Mataji. Okay,
Oh,
go
sorry,
ahead.
you didn't hear me. You mentioned about alcohol. So, when I was traveling, I met some devotees who are working in the, how do you call it, in the bar, but they're not drinking, but they're just working there. But I just, can you enlighten us, like, how about those devotees that are like doing karma yoga and the only choices that they have is to work such places where there are alcohols, but that even though they're not drinking, they're trying to like do it to support the family because that's the only job that they know. So, I mean, is it sinful? But they're not drinking alcohol, something like this.
I know they are
Hare
not drinking.
Krishna.
Already explained it many times, so we had it. So the thing that is here is that, see, it's okay. They are not drinking, but they are working there. It's okay. By collecting the money, putting some for devotional service, they get purified. That's what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. But for if you really want to live a karma-free life, look for another job. You see, you look for another, because what happens is that even though you are not drinking, but you are always surrounded by those who are engaging in such activities, and and you are selling what you know that you will not help them in their spiritual life to them, even though you are not drinking. So someone on the other, it's just like somebody who is selling meat. Oh, I'm not eating meat. Okay, I'm selling meat. I don't eat it anyway. You see. So what difference does it make? Somebody will eat meat because you are encouraging the person to kill the meat. So you are selling it. So you are encouraging the person to sell. So the same thing also with alcohol also. So a devotee, see, there are different type of devotees. There are different kind of devotees, like we always explain. A devotee who wants to go back home, back to Godhead, will always be satisfied with simple living. Simple living means whatever work you can do to maintain your body and maintain your mental balance, you are okay with that. You see, it's not the work. Okay, you get so much work, you will get so much big money, and before you know, you start forgetting Krishna. It's not easy. You see, but a devotee who really want to be pure, who want to go back home, back to Godhead, would always desire for simple living. Simple living means whatever by your hard working you are able to get, to maintain your body and your soul together and your family around you, you are okay with that. Once you make that decision in your spiritual life, you will never go astray from Krishna. So we have to understand what is our priority. Is my priority to make money, or my priority is to always remain in spiritual life for the rest of my life? All these opportunity will be given to us. All these tests will be placed in front of us, and we have to select. which one we want. Okay, Krishna, you wait first. Let me make money. I've seen many devotees. They will say, "You see, let me make big, so much more money, so that no, no, not devotees. Even me, including me, when we were growing up in the temple, we used to see how devotees were struggling. I remember those days where the truck we were using for book distribution, going for traveling. We were saying. So we used to look at the other companies and say, see the fine buses they are using. We can use the same for Krishna. I want to be that I will be saying, because I'm part of those devotees who used to say those days also that you know to be a rich devotee is not a crime. So I will be saying, what is bad in using limousine to go for book distribution? You buy a limousine, and you go and park it in a garage in a center of the street, and you display Prabhupada's book on the limousine. What is wrong with that? I used to be one of those devotees who think like that when I was growing up. And then when I grew up, when I got my car, a very nice car, I don't want to distribute Prabhupada books. I was just driving around and enjoying myself. You see? So when we don't have these things, we tell Krishna, when we get these things, we will use it for your book distribution, this, that. But when we get them, we forget Krishna. You are looking at the fine girls to carry with your car, you forget Krishna. You see? That is the problem. You see? So that is the problem. The problem is not what we do, but is that thing going to take us away from Krishna? So we have to be very careful so that the thing will not take us away from Krishna. So, because whatever is going to take us away from Krishna, oh my God, is very, very dangerous. Because then we don't know when we'll get this opportunity again. You see? So if a devotee has no any alternative only than that for him to sustain himself, it's okay, he can do that work. But if you have alternative, always best not to do that. See, in devotional service, we have to use our intelligence. That is why it's called Buddhi Yoga. So you decide, what do you want? What do I want? Do I want to live a pure life, or I still want mixture? I'm not ready for pure now. You decide. You see, some people they are not ready for pure life. It's okay. You cannot blame them. You cannot criticize them. That is the level of their consciousness. Even Prabhupada said it, that many of my disciples, they will go to heavenly planet. He knows that they are not ready for pure bhakti. They want to enjoy self gratification. So you cannot condemn, you cannot criticize them. You see? So we have to know what we want and go for it. We should not pretend, because pretension is very dangerous. People who pretend a lot, they die in silence. You want to show that you are a pure devotee, but somehow or the other there's something you would like to enjoy. Let's say, for example, now they are distributing rasagulas, and you love rasagulas, and there's so many of them, and you don't want people to say you love sweets, so you just say, give me one. But inside you are thinking of eating like 10, but you are pretending. No, 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 no. Just give me one. Hare Krishna. So that people will say, oh, he doesn't like sweets, or he's a pure devotee, he's very detached. No, 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 not me. If I want to eat 10 rasagula, I don't care what you say. If you bring it in front of me, I eat the 10. Let you say whatever you want to say. You see, I don't want to leave that place and start lamenting. Oh, why did I not take 10 rasagula? No, I don't do that. See, so we have to know what we want in spiritual life. Do we want pure devotional service, or we are not ready for that yet? We know the ultimate goal is pure devotional service, but there's so many devotees who are not ready for that yet. It's okay. It's okay. Still come to Krishna. That is why Krishna describes about that in the chapter. Is it chapter 7? Who can remind me? Yes. Do we remember where Krishna described about the four kinds of devotee? You remember? Somebody want to remind us which chapter?
Around 7:12 to 7:15, Prabhu.
Chapter 7.
Yeah, chapter 7. What verse? Let me test the Bhagavad Gita students.
About to 15.
Now we are going to test you. What's verse?
Let's see.
Krishna described the four kinds of devotee.
16. I
Okay,
missed
good.
one.
Thank you very much. Very good. It's all right. So now you know it. Where Krishna described the four kinds of devotees. So there are four kinds of devotee. Krishna specifically mentioned one is very dear to him, those who are in knowledge. But that does not mean that those other ones also they are not dear to Krishna. Just that those who are in knowledge, the tendency to become pure is there. But other devotees also they become dear to Krishna when they become purified. So that is it. So as a devotee, we should be very, very sincere in our devotional practice. We should not pretend. Krishna mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, which verse, which chapter Krishna mentioned about pretender in Bhagavad Gita and what verse? Now we are doing Bhagavad Gita test. What chapter and what verse Krishna talk about pretender in Bhagavad Gita? I'm not going to tell you the chapter, I'm not going to tell you the verse. I want you to tell me. We have studied it. Now we are doing examination. Krishna mentioned about being a pretender in Bhagavad Gita, what chapter and what verse. I will give you 1 minute to make your
Chapter
research.
3?
Huh?
Chapter 3.
Are you sure? Are you sure in chapter 3? Try to be sure. Try to be sure. Are you sure? You are not
Chapter
answering me.
chapter 3 verse 6. Is it correct?
Ah. Nikki
Chapter
was not sure. I was asking the way that you are not sure. Yeah.
Because
chapter
Prabhu,
3
I summarized this right.
Yes.
Chapter 3.
chapter
In
3
chapter
verse
3, verse
6.
6.
Verse
Yes.
6. Yeah.
I was just trying to see whether you are confident about what you are saying. That's why I'm asking you, are you sure? Are you sure? It's chapter 3, verse 6.
Verse
Yes, thank
6.
you. Yeah, Krishna, what is somebody can read the translation for us very loudly.
One who performs his duty with great effort but does not dedicate them to the Supreme Lord is
No, no, no,
pretender.
no, 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 no. That translation is different. I want about the other translation.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Who have found that, please? I want somebody who
Oh
have found the
yeah.
other translation to tell us.
One
If
who
someone
restrains the senses of action, is
Yes,
it the?
yes, Tripura Mataji, please go ahead.
Okay. One who restrains the senses of action, but whose mind dwells on sense objects, certainly deludes himself and is called a pretender.
This is Krishna definition of a pretender. We should not be a pretender. A pretender, proper the Krishna definition of pretender is one who restrains his senses. You know, externally you look as if you restrain your senses, but your mind is always dwelling on that activity. And Krishna's mentioned here, eventually such person will be deluded. You'll be deluded. You know, you'll be deluded, and when you become deluded, you fall into frustration, anxiety. So a pretender will never be happy. That's what I'm trying to say. So we should proper say we need two things to be successful in devotional service: sincerity and steadiness. Sincerity and steadiness. So let us be sincere in our devotion and be steady. Then surely we will get the mercy of the Lord. Okay? Any question or comment? We'll stop at 26 today.
Prabhu,
Oh, yes, Mata.
I have a question.
Yes, please go ahead. I always say, when I have a question, I get goosebumps, you know. Please.
Yeah, Prabhu, this is quite long, kind of deep, and it's
Oh,
mixed
okay.
of multiple questions because it has to be
Okay.
in, like, I have to say it all at once because if I say it one by one, it's gonna lose its sense.
Oh, very good. Please go
Yeah.
ahead. It's very inspiring now. Okay.
So yes, so basically, Prabhu, I was listening to Srila Prabhupada's lecture on these
Yeah.
verses as well before the
Yes.
class. So it came to my point, like I will quote something that he said. So the devotee doesn't mind whether he is born in the animal or human society or demigod society or any society. He simply prays to God, I may not forget you. I may always engage in your transcendental loving service. And he also
Yes.
quoted from Shikshastakam, the Mama Janmani Janmanishwari Babad Bhaktir
I
Aitukitwai.
took it to
So
you.
I may remain as your pure devotee, birth after birth. So even like he said in this discussion or in this lecture that he said that even Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not ask for liberation. He prayed that even after many births that he may get, he will have constant thoughts and love for Sri Krishna. And with this regard, Prabhu, my question is that I actually wrote it. So so why is there so much stress on leaving this planet? Why is there so much stress that this planet is in so much suffering? Because even my Shiksha Guru, actually Prabhu, he also asked this question like, why blame Sri Mata Bhumi for the faults of the human beings? Because it's not Sri Mata Bhumi that is doing or causing the miseries in this planet, is actually the human beings. So why say that this planet is miserable when the humans are the ones who's making it miserable? So my question is along with this one is, why is there so much stress in leaving this material world? Because it kind of looks like we want to escape or we want to run away from this material world. Aren't you with Krishna already? Like, is having Sri Krishna in your thoughts and in your heart constantly not enough to remove the miseries that you're feeling right now? So this is my question, Prabhu. So
Now I'm already messed up with just hearing the question. Oh, Krishna. Just like Vidura Maitreya question and answer, Thank you very much for asking that thoughtful question, very deep. Yeah, one thing that is there is that just like you quoted very nicely all the verses about, the most important thing is to engage in devotional service to Krishna, whether we take birth in this animal or we're in this planet, or we don't, even the body don't care to go to hellish planet. But one thing that we should understand is that we have to become devotee first. That is most important. We are not a devotee yet. There is one time a devotee was talking to Prabhupada and he said, oh, we are devotee. And Prabhupada said, what did you say? Devotee, you know what it means to be a devotee? Vaishnava. Vaishnava means Shuddha Bhakta, pure devotion, pure devotee. When we become pure devotee, then all these things you are saying will make meanings to us. But now we are not on that platform. If Krishna give us any miseries, we are already complaining. We are not on that platform. Just imagine a devotee who is saying that he wants to go to hell. You know what it means to be in hellish planet? But if he's already a devotee, he doesn't consider suffering a suffering again. He sees Krishna in suffering. He sees Krishna in everything. And because he sees Krishna in everything, everything becomes transcendental bliss. That is why Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur also pray. He says, Krishna, even if I became a worm in the stool of your devotee, just give me association of your devotee. So to come in contact with pure devotee of Krishna or Krishna is very wonderful. It doesn't matter whatever form we come in contact with that. But first, let us become pure devotee first. That is why Prabhupada says, don't ask how did we come into this material existence. Get out first. When you get out first, then all the answer will be revealed to you. You see? So what I'm trying to say in essence is that when we become a pure devotee, we don't care where we are again, whether we are in this world, we are not in this world, because we already connected to Krishna. We don't care anymore. But first, for us to be in that consciousness, we must try to attain Krishna, to see Krishna, to be close to Krishna, to see Krishna, to connect with Krishna. And for us to be able to connect with Krishna, to feel Krishna, we have to we have to hate material enjoyment. We have to, because this material world is designed for sense gratification. That is the only thing. It's designed for sense gratification. Okay? Yes, it's designed for sense gratification. That is only so, because this material world is designed for sense gratification, so it's easy for us when we are in good condition to forget Krishna. Very easy. Very easy. It's very easy for us to forget. When we are in good condition, very easy for us to forget Krishna. That is why you see King Kulashekara was offering that prayer, wonderful prayer we recited the other time. So, to remember Krishna is the goal of the world. That is why it is mentioned, Bhishmata Vyona, Shtam. Bhishmata Vyona Jatushit. You know, he say, Smata Vyo Shetan Satatam, Bhishmata Vyona Jatushit. Sama Bidi, he mentioned that all the rules and regulation in the scripture is for us. It's not that to always remember Vishnu. And all the revealed scriptures mention these two principles. To always remember Vishnu and never forget him at any time. If we can come into this consciousness, we don't need to follow any rules and regulation again. To always remember Krishna and never forget him means that for us to come to that platform in the beginning, we have to follow the six principles of surrendering. Whatever will make us to forget Krishna, we have to reject it. Whatever will make us to remember Krishna, we have to accept it. So there are six principles of surrendering. Once we are able to practice this six principles of surrendering, and we already come to that state of consciousness that we always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna, we are properly situated. We are already transcendental. We are already Jiva Mukta. Even when we are in this material, we don't care where we are again, whether we are in the hell or we are just like Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva Maharaj, he performed severe devotional service. You know, then when he saw Krishna, Krishna told him, "Oh Dhruva, now you have seen me. You are going to enjoy, go to the spirit, this abode, enjoy here on the earth. You will not be conditioned, you know." So that is the point. The point is that we have to become pure devotee first. And for us to become pure devotee, we have to feel separation from Krishna. We have to desire Krishna. We have to want to connect with Krishna. That is why in the Shastaka prayer, he said, Krishna, not seeing you, one moment look like 12 years or more. Are we feeling like that now? No. Until we come to that consciousness, we have to want to go back to the kingdom of Krishna. We have to desire it. We have to desire to get out of this material one and want to go back to the kingdom of Krishna. But when we already become fully Krishna conscious, we don't care again, because everywhere we are, we become the kingdom of Krishna. But we are not on that state, on that level of consciousness first. That is why this consciousness, we have to develop it first, to want to be with Krishna, to want to attain Krishna, because people may be engaged in devotional service and we don't desire Krishna. If we engage in devotional service and we don't desire Krishna, we will not attain Krishna. We will get the benefit of engaging in devotional service, either in this life or the next, but we will never attain Krishna. That is why Srila Rupa Goswami mentioned that the desire to attain Krishna must be strong when we are engaging in devotional service. It means you must desire to be in the association of Krishna. Just like if you don't desire to be in the association of your lover, how will you appreciate the association when you come in contact with that person? It will not be possible. You see? So it's very, very important to have that desire. So that is why, for a pure devotee, they don't care where they are, what body they take, because they are already pure. But we are not on that consciousness. We are not pure. So let us practice to become pure yet. When we become pure, then we can be able to see and feel what they are feeling. And we can understand what the state of consciousness they have, why they are saying that. There are difference between honesty and humility. Let me clearly define this and we'll close the class for today. When somebody is falling and is telling other devotee, I'm a falling devotee, I'm so wretched. He's falling. We know that he's falling. He's not pure. He's honest. When a devotee is pure, he has no sinful activities, he's so pure, like Narottam Das Thakur or Bhakti Thakur, but they are saying in their heart, Krishna, I'm so sinful, I'm so this, I'm so contaminated this. That is humility. So honesty and humility is completely different. Sometimes devotees they miss it up. They're just being honest and they think that they are humble. It's not true. You get the point? So thank you very much, Mother Niharika, for the wonderful question. And so we will stop here and we can continue tomorrow. No, tomorrow is Saturday.
Saturday.
So we continue on Monday. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for asking that wonderful question. I love questions. When you ask questions, meaningful questions, it gives me goosebumps and it wants me to talk more about Krishna. So please ask questions. Hare Krishna.